Love is exactly in the air here on AM Live, and we want to fix your love situation by talking, of course, about how to communicate. And of course, this is a very huge gender debate about how women and men communicate. Welcome to the studio, Margaret Gitu. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
It's great to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Now, you are a family and sex therapist. Tell me a little bit about your background and why you decided to get into this vocation.
You know, it's when I was younger, maybe 18, right after high school, I knew I wanted to be an opera singer, but I also knew I wanted to be a therapist. At the time, I called it psychologist. Yeah. Then I went to school and I just found out, my advisor said, look, you can't be anything in this field unless you get a master's. And I already knew my focus was on music. Okay. Fast forward to I've come home and I think, you know what I want to do? I want to be a therapist in addition to. So I went to school here, got my MA in marriage and family therapy, but I knew from the get-go that I wanted to focus on sexuality.
Okay.
And my mom actually was really the one who pushed me to just get the MA here and get it done.
How's it going? How is therapy going? Do we need it as Kenyans?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You have no idea. Often people say, oh my God, there's such a big need.
Yeah.
Yes, we need it. It's going well, but as you can imagine, it's a very new field. And especially the intimacy aspect, it's new and it's difficult for people to articulate what they want.
Right.
And we're not really taught in this culture to say, this isn't really working, or you know what, it's working, but I want better, or I want different, whatever, right?
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
All right. Now, of course, today we're all about communication. We're all about men versus women, the big debate, and really coming up with something that works for a relationship. If your relationship is not working, if your marriage is in turmoil, how do you fix it? So let's just start from the very beginning. Communication is a tough thing when you're looking at both gender roles.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
I think communication is this word that I think we all know it's necessary, right? But what it means to me and what it means to my male partner is just not the same thing. For one thing, we're more wordy, women. We talk more. We have, I think, better access or faster access to our words. Men, I think, like to kind of retreat, think, you know, focus, whatever. So when I need to talk to him or he needs to talk to me, it can come across really differently than what we intend, and then enter problems.
And that's what we're talking about today. So a woman will tell you, hi, they'll send you a text, we need to talk. They'll call you in the middle of the day, tonight, come home early, we need to talk. And the guy will not be seen for a whole other 24 hours because he probably thinks that he's in trouble or something is wrong. Let's talk a little bit about how to navigate communication when you want positive results and when you want to solve a situation. Let's address women in this case, and then we'll address men.
Yes.
Okay.
So women, when we say we need to talk, we're actually standing in our truth. Yeah, we're actually just being honest and saying, this is bugging me and I want to share that with you. And for men, that obviously has a very different connotation. Yeah, it's a threat. But we don't mind stimuli, women. You know, right now we're in this studio, there are lights, there's people, but you know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
And it's easier for you. And I'm not saying men don't do it because you have male anchors here, but I'm just saying in relationships, we're less maybe threatened or more open to multiple things.
Right.
Whereas for men, it really can feel unfairly like, oh my God, what did I do now? As though the only time you need to talk is when something is negative.
Right. And it actually does happen where the woman wants to constantly talk about the wrong things. You never hear we need to talk because the guy did a great thing. Honey, we need to talk. You are so awesome. No, you don't hear that.
No, like, babe, thanks for the flowers. We need to talk. No.
No, you don't hear that. It's always negative. So we'll talk about how to take this term and change it around. But we have a caller from Zimmerman who'd like to contribute to the conversation. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you, Anne. You have a question or comment, darling?
Okay, niko na swali.
Hi, endelea.
Yeah, sasa naona leo vitu yenye mnaongelea. Ikawa inaniguza leo asubuhi.
Okay.
Cause nimekasirika kiasi. Yeah, sasa mimi na bwana na ni mzuri sana.
Okay.
Yeah, anafanya mambo yake vizuri, but ikifika ni conversation nikaa anapotelea.
Yuko down.
Inanifanya mimi mwenyewe nakuwa niko down kila saa.
Okay.
Yeah, because kama sasa hivi nikiwa na issues, na nikiongea naye ananipea advice nzuri, but when tables zimeturn na yenda kuna issue like kama kuchelewa, alafu namwambia mtu afai kuwa hivyo, because unajua sometimes kuna guest.
Yeah.
Na unajaribu kuficha mambo zingine.
Okay.
But unapata still anaendelea kufanya hivyo. And then hata ukimuongelesha unaona ni like hataki kusikia, like wewe mwenyewe ukiongea it's like hauna say kwa nyumba.
Okay, sawa. Sasa unataka kujua vile utamuongelesha?
Yeah, nilikuwa nataka at least ni advice nionekana mimi ndo niko na shida ama yeye mwenyewe ndo ako na shida. Unaona?
Okay.
Sitaki kukuwa that nagging wife, nataka at least niko perfect because kuna mtu hii and at least sasa tunakuwa married for 5 years. Yeah, na nataka at least marriage is stand.
Okay, Mama. I thank you, and thank you for also saying he's a good man. You know, I like that she started that way. I like that she started that. Thank you, Anne. What can you say to Anne, Maggie?
Okay, so Anne, sasa, one thing naeza kuambia, just without knowing him, chunguza timing yako. Usingoje mse ameingia 3 AM and then that's the time unaanza vita, unaanza story na yeye, sawa?
Asali ameamka tu saa hiyo.
Ama sasa zile mse ameamka tu saa hiyo ama ameingia tu saa hiyo. Yaani hata kama amechelewa ameingia 6 PM, give him some time. Then that's so number one. Number one is timing. That's my suggestion.
Okay.
Number two, the flip side of timing is choosing a time when that thing haiko. So kama amechelewa sahi, usiongee hiyo story sahi.
Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, everything is in timing, isn't
it?
Okay, and then not nagging. And because actually it can turn into, because sometimes the things that we women want to talk about end up being character-based, character traits. This is something that this man has done all his life. Now you've ended up in a relationship, you're married, you're living together, you're starting to see these things and you don't agree with them. But how do you then change the guy? If the guy is always running late and he's been running late all his life, this marriage is not going to change that. So is it easier just to let it go?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
There's this couple called the Gottmans, and Gottman therapy, couple therapy is really respected and approach, right? So one of their studies, they studied marriage itself, like in a lab. And you know what they say about conflict?
Yeah.
69% of the conflict you have in a marriage will never be resolved.
Really?
We're talking 69%. That's like...
It's huge.
If you get a 69% on an exam, you don't really think you failed.
No, yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So you do have to kind of also be realistic. If you can only resolve 31%, that means pick your battles.
Pick your battles. Choose what you...
Choose, choose where what you want to fight about or what you want to address, and choose when. But choose carefully. If this guy is always late, you may need to plan around it, and he may need to plan around your need to be on time.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Letting things go is always the hard thing to do. All right?
Yeah.
And especially on both sides. It's not just a woman issue. You know, and picking your battles and choosing what not to say and what to say. It can very quickly turn into nagging and nagging. So every single time that I see your caller ID, your name on my caller ID, I know that it's something wrong. Anytime I come home and I didn't do something, I know that it's something wrong. And this is both ways. Men also do this to women, and the issue of submission also comes into play. Talk to me a little bit about how to avoid communication turning into nagging, because we're not perfect.
Yeah. You know, for us, talking is just talking, right? It's not this big weighty thing. But if you find you keep saying the same thing over and over and over, obviously that tells you something is missing. So instead of telling, ask, right?
Oh, right.
So instead of telling him, you're always late, you always make me feel, and by the way, avoid always and never, because those are already not true.
Okay.
Nothing is 100% one way or the other, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So ask him, babe, you know, I feel like we've had this conversation a lot. What is it that I need to do different? Or what is it that, you know, where are we missing each other? Because I'm really feeling frustrated, or I'm really feeling sad. You know, she said, he doesn't talk to me, and then kuongea yake iko down, so pia mimi nanieka down, right? So then it becomes a cycle that's self-perpetuating.
She's obviously frustrated.
Yeah. So stand in your truth, and truth is kind, yeah? So be kind with your truth, be kind with your words. That's why you pick a time when the issue is not at hand. Okay. Also, the other thing, men don't do very well like what you and I are doing.
Right.
You know, we're like in each other's eyes, and it's fine. Like there is no intimidation.
We're perfect.
We're great. Yeah, for men that doesn't really work.
Oh.
They respond better when they're side to side to you. So when you're doing dishes and he's drying them, then you can, you know, say something.
Okay.
And then it's also how you say it. Ay, sweetie, no, sasa tena nitaka mpaka tu saa tisa nikikungoja, you know?
Yeah.
And you're bumping him with your, you know, dishcloth as you, so that he's feeling that he's not being threatened. And then this person is your lover and your friend. So how do you speak to them? If I came in here and I just started putting you in your place, you'd be like, listen.
Yeah. Defense goes up immediately.
Yeah. And it's not about men and women, only that for us we have words. You can tell me off, but he may not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah?
I'm getting you completely.
Yeah.
Very profound. All right, we have another caller on the line.
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, and 2 ands in a row. I like that. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Kobe?
I'm great, love. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Excellent. Do you have a question or comment?
But
Okay, go ahead.
okay, first I want to appreciate my husband because we communicate very well. He listens to me.
Okay.
We have issues and we sort them out.
All right.
Yeah, so, and he appreciates that.
Good.
When I'm angry, I don't talk. I wait until I calm down. So I tell him, you know, I don't like prepare him in advance, like we need to talk about this. No,
Right.
I just start talking like, you know, why do such things happen, this, and then I relate that to our relationship.
Right.
And, you know, this happened and it really hurt me and I didn't feel good and it happens like that. And it's, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. And he explains to me why he did what he did.
Okay.
But now, Kobe, I had a baby 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I had a baby through cesarean. My baby was 4.6.
Yes, ma'am.
He was very big.
Yeah,
and
congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know what happened, but somehow my abdomen got niseme iliharibika ama.
Okay, yeah. Ikakuwa kubwa.
Yeah, now
Okay.
I've worked on my weight. It's still an issue. I can see it even, you know, he has tried to make me lose weight. I've lost weight.
Yeah.
But now that katumbo.
Bado kako.
Bado kako, I've really lost weight. I lost my waist. I need my waist back.
Pole mama. You'll make it. You can do it.
6 years down the line, Kobe, it's not going. I don't know if there's anything I can, but he's really supporting me.
Okay, so he doesn't have a problem with this.
He has, because he wants it all out. If he didn't have a problem, he would be okay just the way it is.
How does he communicate that to you?
No, he's very positive. He pays the gym for me. We go
That's nice.
out on to work out. I tell him I don't want to do carbs, and he's okay with that. He buys greens.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can help me in any way to reduce the kapot.
Oh, don't worry. Actually, in about a week or so, we're going to have someone here who's going to tell us about alternatives to working out. Okay, I'm going to keep your number, Anne. Usha, keep Anne's number, and I'm going to hook her up with someone. That pot will be gone by Christmas. Don't worry. And then another thing, before Margaret answers you, for your belly to go drastically, do this for 1 month, okay? Don't drink any soda, don't drink any juice, no sugar-based anything, okay? And then replace it with water that has lemon, cucumber, and mint.
Thank you.
Just do that even for 2 weeks and then call me. But I'm going to keep your number so I can talk to you after.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Right, issues of insecurity, issues of men and your physical state, issues of how you tell your mama that she's big or not, or she needs to lose weight. This is so sensitive for women.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Every week I get something in my inbox about this.
Okay.
Right? So there are women who feel like what she's talking about. I just feel like I'm not really what they're telling me is I don't feel sexy anymore,
Right.
and I don't feel like attractive anymore, right? For those women, I want to remind you what your body has been through. My family doctor said to me, if you knew what it took for a child to grow inside a woman, you would know that the role of the man and the woman is so small.
Right.
It's a huge miracle, right? And there is a price to pay. For some people, it's acne. For some people, it's a stomach and whatever. So do what you can, but don't let the birth of your child, this most beautiful, innocent, perfect creature you've ever seen in your life, become the reason that you're damaging yourself on the inside.
Okay.
Right?
She needs to does she need to let this go?
I think she needs to begin to let it go or reframe it.
Okay.
So look at it as a gift of motherhood. Yeah, it's weird to think of your stomach as a gift of motherhood, but this can be changed.
Right.
Yeah, she can wear things that accentuate certain aspects of her that she likes and then kind of cover up certain other aspects. Yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Men, please be kind.
It's good that her husband is actually really kind. I
know.
love that. I love that the husband is kind and he's not mean and he's proactive in helping her out. So
Yes.
everything is in her. It's about her attitude. It's about the way she speaks about herself and to herself, isn't it? All right.
I
You
was
wanna
just
add
going to
that?
say one thing.
Go ahead, Mama.
You know, men who are being supportive, I want to give them just one little kind of thing to add.
Yeah.
It's really sweet if you're my guy and you're taking me out to the gym or you're helping me work out and being very supportive in diet and all that. But don't forget to treat me as your lady.
Right.
Right? Don't forget to spoil me. Don't forget to compliment me. So compliment your partner. Treat them so that every outing is not losing weight. Every restaurant is not picked around, oh my God, what can we eat, or what, you know what I mean?
And it's 6 years. That
I
is a
know.
long time.
And this is such a precious relationship. I mean, the way she's describing it, it's so
Yeah.
goosebumpy.
It sounds beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
happy for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and love yourself, girl. 6 years is enough, okay? And it'll go. The way it will
It
go.
really will.
And then imagine by the time it goes, you'll get pregnant again.
Right on time.
All right, we have a call from Kisii. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, Charles. How are you?
Fine, fine, good.
Excellent. You have a question or comment, sir?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Akina, ningependa unisaidie kwa.
Ati?
Ningependa unisaidie.
Niambie nikusaidie, Charles.
Haya, this is Charles.
Ehe.
Nilioa some years back.
Ehe.
Then my first madam passed away
Okay.
in 2013. Alafu akaniacha na watoto.
Can you, sorry, Charles, I'm just going to ask Patrick, our sound man, to turn up the sound in the studio so we can hear, tunaweza kusikia vizuri. Tukusikii
Nasema
vizuri
aje?
sana. Ongea na
Nasema
sauti
aje?
kidogo.
Nasema aje? Nilikuwa na bibi
Ehe.
ya kaka 2013.
Pole, pole,
Hello?
pole. Pole sana, Charles.
Sasa akaniacha na watoto.
Okay.
So nikaoa msichana mwingine. Tumekaa miaka mitatu, tumezaa mtoto. Hello?
Endelea, tunakusikia tafadhali.
Sasa huyo msichana, in fact I love her. Nampenda sana.
Good.
Nampenda zaidi. Baya sasa alitoka mwezi wa 3 tarehe 9.
Okay.
So nimejaribu kumwambia tukae chini tuongee, nimejaribu kumwambia tukae chini tuongee. So nilimwambia so the best solution is to sit down and talk.
And na yeye amekataa?
Na yeye ananipeleka tu hivi, ananipeleka hata wazazi wake, hata baba yake alitoka Nairobi akakuja nyumbani. Nimejaribu kumuita aje. Okay. Mpaka jana asubuhi. Alikuwa ananiambia ndio kuna kazi nyingine nilipata, so nitapata time next month. Nikamwambia hiyo next month hapana. Sasa hivi ile dadi yako nyumbani, let us go and sit down and talk.
Okay, wacha nikuulize Charles. Wewe unaishi Kisii, anaishi Nairobi?
Mimi naishi Kisii, yeye baba yao anaishi Nairobi.
Okay. Na mko na mtoto mmoja? Na mtoi yuko na wewe ama na yeye?
Yuko na yeye.
Okay. Na you just want to sit down and have a discussion with her. That's it?
Yes.
Okay. I like this guy. He just wants to talk to his wife, you know, and she's resistant to talking to him. And she's basically she keeps delaying the inevitable. and he's not sure why.
But I missed something. Did they have a miscarriage or?
He
lost his first wife.
He lost his first wife. They've got 3 kids. He married this woman. They had a child. She's in Nairobi. She got a new job, and he's in Kisii. And I think what the situation has been is parents are involved. They want to sit down and talk, and she's just a little resistant to this communication plan.
So my first question, Charles, Sasa?
Is he on the line? I think he's dropped.
I
think he's dropped, yeah. But he's watching for sure.
My first question to him would be talk about what, right? Because if you don't know, if you feel like it's so broad, you can feel intimidated or scared, especially when 2 things, parents are involved, and then you're a stepmother, right?
Yeah.
You're a stepmother, so you can feel like, okay, what are we talking about? Now, assuming they have, the topic of discussion.
Right.
To me, she sounds anxious about something. And it's up to him, I don't know, take the pressure off.
Okay.
I think there's so much pressure when you start hearing, even the parents are involved, especially in this culture, that just communicates all kinds of things, right? So take the pressure off and even tell her, look, I think let's just take a month away from this
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just table this for a month? Because I'm feeling frustrated and I'm feeling like you are unable to listen or to talk to me, right?
Okay.
Back to what I said earlier. If you keep asking something and becomes nagging, then instead of telling, this time, ask.
Right.
So ask her.
Just ask her, can we talk? What if she says no?
Then you ask her, tell me why, or tell me what I can do to make this easier.
Okay.
That's also a really good question for couples, by the way. What can I do so that you take some of the pressure off of that person and you also include yourself, or you let them know that this is a two-person, 2 people thing, right?
All right.
As opposed to you do this and I'm just going to sit here and I don't know.
Okay. We're going to talk about fighting and when anger walks into the room and when everybody thinks they're right and the silent treatments go on for weeks on end. Everybody's just, nothing is happening. It's a cold war in the house. Guys are just passing each other in the corridors.
Right.
Right, we're going to talk about that, but we have another caller on the line. Good morning. Jerry. She there? She's just giggling all by herself. Hi, Jerry. Oh gosh, we can't hear it. Usha, can we get her back on the line? Yeah. Talk to us about fighting and arguing when emotions are heated, when things are bad, and when both parties think they're right.
Let me start by offering some hope.
Yeah.
Fighting is part of a relationship. So in a relationship where there is no conflict, it implies that there is also no care.
Oh.
Right? It implies that you don't care so much. If I'm not fighting you about the flowers, it's because I really don't care if they're white or they're pink, right? You can have whatever flowers you want on the set. So fighting is actually, in a sense, a sign that there is life in this relationship.
That's great.
So that's the good news.
Okay, what's the bad news?
The other news, let's not call it bad news, the other news is that people are different. And we all know this when we are sober and kind of, mature adults who are in love. People disagree.
Yeah.
Until you disagree and then you want to throttle somebody, right?
Yeah.
So try to remember that people are different and that includes you. I can't say, why don't I fight like Kobe? She just is so calm. If you're a passionate person, the flip side of that passionate coin is going to be that you're hot-tempered.
Right.
So number 1 is awareness. What is my style of fighting? What is my style of loving, right? If you're maybe overly affectionate, very touchy, when you're angry, you're likely to be the one that pulls back.
Right.
Once you kind of know, and you can even do those personality tests online, it's good to just have some insight into who you are and why you are the way you are. Then you know the personality, you were just born this way. It's like pre-installed.
Okay, yeah. There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about the fact that it exists, but there's plenty you can do about how you handle it and how you manage it. For example, if you're hot-tempered, you need to know when you're reaching your point of, I'm about to snap.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And your partner needs to know that you know that, so that when you say, babe, I need a minute. I need 10
Yeah.
because I'm going to lose it. For him or her not to take it as a personal affront, but to take it as a gift that you're giving them a warning that I'm feeling overwhelmed. The Gottmans are the same couple that said if a couple or if a person is under so much distress, physiologically they cannot process information.
Oh.
You will be talking to them. You could even be a priest. You could be Buddha sitting up on a mountain, and they cannot hear you because everything in their system, their brain, their blood pressure, everything is heightened, right? And this is not a good indicator. You could be calmly sitting there and ready to kill me.
Right, yeah.
And I could be loud and angry and actually not as physiologically disturbed as you are, right?
Okay.
So once you know yourself, you can know how to harness that, first of all, positively. If you're passionate, make some earrings or sing, do something. Yeah. But also so that you can communicate to your partner. You know, when we have the conversation about children, it gets me so hot under the collar, I cannot think. Can we just maybe find other ways? Can we talk about it for 10 minutes and then we need to take a break?
Okay.
Just so I can hear you.
Let's talk a little bit about something crucial. I think that's happening at a more of an alarming rate than we're willing to discuss. Gaslighting, mental abuse, and mental abuse that turns into physical. A man or a woman that puts you down constantly, and somehow this has become your life, and you don't even know what to do about it.
Yeah.
How do you talk to this person who is abusing you?
I have to be honest.
Okay.
Of all personalities on earth, these are my most challenging.
Okay.
Yeah, because gaslighters, and also called crazy makers for a reason, also called passive aggressive.
Talk to us about what that is. Gaslighting and crazy makers. What are they?
You know, these are people whose coping or defense mechanism is really about doing things that look normal to everybody else, that look small or petty, but they know that to you, it's so massive.
Yes.
And then when you come and complain, you seem petty. So they're trapping you. And then they're not operating from a place of honesty. You know, an angry person, it's very clear that they're angry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A gaslighter will sit there and smile, and they know they slashed your tires. Then when you go down and you say, you know, Kobe slashed my tires, and she's like, I've been having tea with Maggie. I don't know what she's talking about.
Crazy.
Then you look crazy.
And they're there. And they're in relationships
Yes.
with us.
With us.
Yeah. So what do? Do you walk away? Do you fix it?
It depends. If it's an early relationship, you really should consider walking away.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how strongly, personally, I feel about it. But sometimes you're married to them and you just don't know. People who behave in this manner tend to be also the ones who feel the most disenfranchised.
Okay.
They tend to feel the least secure, the least appreciated. They tend to feel like they don't have the power to say, Kobe, I really would prefer red flowers,
Yeah.
right? So rather than say it, they start to throw your flowers in the trash and then
Criticize,
Yes.
talk down
Put
to
you
you,
down.
put you down, tell you about how bad you look.
Yes.
Nobody else will ever love you. And it's an
Yes.
insecurity within them.
it is them.
Okay.
So part of it is you knowing what is and what isn't the case.
Okay.
That means it's your responsibility to surround yourself with people who you can trust to reflect the truth to you.
Gaslighting is very difficult, and mental abuse is very difficult to identify.
Yes,
You won't
it is.
know. You'll be in this relationship for about a year, and you will not know. But people outside of your circle, your family, your close friends, will see the change in you.
Yes.
We'll talk, of course, about how mental abuse turns physical very
Yes.
quickly, and how to get out of that rut, and how to talk to this person when this happens.
Yeah.
Of course, before we do that, we have Titus on the line. Good morning. Hi, Titus.
Hello?
Habari?
Mzuri sana, naitwa Titus Bocha Marina kutoka Kamkuya Kimilili.
Okay, niambie.
Mimi nimefurahia kipindi kwa sababu imefanya bibi yangu kwa wakati mwingine alikuwa ananisumbua, sasa bila ametazama ile runinga hapa Kamkuya amefurahia kwa sababu ile mafundisho mnasema ni kitu ya kuchenga kwa boma, kwa sababu kwa nyumba hapa nyuma nilikuwa hata nikiongea na mama ananiletea mambo mengine hata hatuelewani, lakini sasa hivi nakwambia sasa tumekaa hapa kwa kiti anasikiza bila tunaona anatazama mtu, nikasema sasa sikiza hiyo kipindi kwa sababu pengine sasa
Oh, what happened to that call? Titus, is your child playing with your phone? Oh, Pole.
Really
I love
eager
me
to hear
too. Can we try to get Titus back? Yeah, amazing. That actually people are listening to. You're very, very brilliant, by the way. Thank you.
Brilliant. You know, my mom is watching, Mommy.
Brilliant advice. Brilliant advice. Well, what ends up happening, yes, in a mentally abusive relationship, it can and probably will turn physical.
Yes.
And once that happens, it is such a tough situation. How do you identify that you're in an abusive relationship, that the way this person communicates and talks to you is actually hurting you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, statistically speaking, you cannot be 100% bad. No one is 100% good or 100% bad. So if your partner is constantly pointing out your negatives, you need to bring that to their awareness. Okay. One way to do that is to say, sweetie, is there anything you like? Right?
Yeah.
Or another way is to say, yeah, or to say like, oh, Kobe, you know, your earrings, blah, blah, blah. And after he's done, you can say, okay, you've told me 7 negative things. Now tell me 7 positives.
Right.
And especially if you have a partner who's, let me say playful, it already puts him like 7. The hair, the earrings, you know, now he has to start thinking, or she has to start thinking, what are the positive things? But also it sends a message that I really am giving a lot of negative information. Some people are genuinely unaware. So you need to be the one to tell them. Have you noticed how often you criticize what I wear? Right? So that they can tell you, well, because what you wear is stupid, or for them to tell you, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Right?
Okay.
Which brings me to benefit of doubt. If a couple does not have benefit of doubt between them, there's a problem. So if you were late this morning, someone here could say, oh, she's so arrogant, she thinks she's...
Yeah.
That means your relationship with that person is broken already.
Okay.
But if they say, I wonder if it's the rain that slowed her down, that means they're giving you benefit of doubt. That means your relationship is actually anchored in something that is good and positive.
Okay.
When you realize you're being abused or kind of put down all the time, you need to really figure out 1 or 2 or 3 people, like your anchors, your the things that, the people that hold you down properly in a positive way,
right,
and speak the truth.
Okay.
Why abuse keeps getting perpetuated is secrecy, right? One of the ways, by the way, to know is when you're isolated from the people that they found you with.
Okay.
So I meet a guy, you're one of my best friends, and then there is Susan, who's also my friend, and John. But within a year, we're barely speaking. Susan and I had a falling out, and the only person in my life is the love of my life.
Yeah.
No.
Something is wrong.
That's what I call using a blender to bake a cake.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. You cannot use one person to anchor you and be your everything. It's simply not possible, and it's not because they're bad. That's not what they were meant to do. Okay. So if you realize your anchors are missing 3 months in, they're controlling, oh, Papa doesn't look very good on you. Right?
Yeah.
This is a constant message of change, change, change. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You know, your feelings will tell you because your feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Your emotions get hurt. You start to doubt yourself. And you know why that's so easy? Because every single human being, I'm sure even Barack Obama, has moments of thinking, am I good enough? Am I a good enough host? Am I a good enough wife? So the minute somebody says, you're not very good at this job, it already taps into a thought you had yesterday or last week or this morning, right?
Right.
And then you start believing, oh my God, maybe it's true, maybe I need to.
And then it brings it to life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after a day, a month, a year of this, it destroys you, because it's destroying the essence of you. The very thing he or she fell in love with is the very thing they're trying to destroy.
Walk away if you can.
If you can, you need to walk away, and if you can't, you need to re-anchor yourself.
Okay.
So reconnect with your Kobe, reconnect with your Susan, reconnect with the things that you liked to do. If you used to sing in church before, sing. If you used to write plays, write, yeah? But reconnect with yourself, because even if he died or she died tomorrow, the destruction is inside you now.
Okay.
So you have to start building yourself from the inside out. With time, you will get wisdom on how to kind of maneuver your way out. but it can be done, and I'd urge you to do it, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
We've run out of time, but if my director will just allow me one last question, which is so important.
Go ahead.
How to say sorry, how to apologize, how to take responsibility in a relationship, and to sit with this person and say, by the way, I wronged you. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? Can we move past this?
Yeah.
So hard to do. I can tell you that. But I probably can't tell, you know, my man the same thing.
Yeah.
Why?
I think you feel powerless and you feel like, will this be used against me later? Or, I don't know, we human beings, we like to think we know. So when you discover, just the other day I posted on my Facebook, I had an epiphany, I'm not perfect. Why didn't any of you tell me, right? So how to say sorry? Number one, not every apology requires the big grand gesture. It depends on what you did. One of the things that I've found useful is to just, again, stand in your truth and say, this morning I was in such a bad mood, I'm so sorry, right? Or even to text it to kind of soften that ground and for you to gauge how bad things really are.
Yeah.
So for you to say, babe, I just got to work and I can't stop thinking about the way I spoke to you this morning. I'm so sorry, please forgive me.
Okay.
When you get home, please hug him or kiss him or buy him mahindi choma. I don't know what y'all's love language is, but you know, like, do something to anchor that apology. Otherwise, it can also be perceived as, oh, so now you're texting me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can even acknowledge and say, I would like to apologize in person in the evening, but I really just I didn't want you to go through the whole day not knowing that I know I messed up.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the truth almost always will set you free.
Amazing. Thank you. You are brilliant. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much.
Your
You just made my
advice
mom's
is-
day.
No, your advice
You
is
made mine.
really wonderful. We're definitely going to have you back.
Thank you. I
Thank
would
you
love
so
that.
much for being here.
Yeah.
Guys, I will connect you to Maggie on our social media platforms. She does a great job of bringing families together and restoring and resparking that love in a couple, okay? So please log on and get in touch with us. You've heard she's on Facebook. She's everywhere, so you can send her an inbox and she'll tell you all about her services. Right.